beer.
Bring me a beer.
All I have to do is tell them they can't touch it, and then they want it.
Yeah. Don't bring me that beer. And they just show up at your side with like a butler tray with the bottle on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a cat butt on the screen.
Okay, you're gonna have to get the cat ass away if we're gonna be able to focus on delivering our very important nerdy news and shit.
All right, no more cat butt on camera. Just a jackass.
uh,
Either way, there's an ass involved.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. So how you doing, Tony?
Doing good, sir. Doing good. Better now that my weekend has begun.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I just like inhaled some late night. Well, not late. It's like 9:30 now, but like extra cup of coffee to try and keep up the energy because all I do is fucking work all day. But I got my beer. Got a bunch of random news shit. Got Meg here knitting. It's very exciting in the apartment this evening in the Valvo's
Nice.
house.
Well,
Is that a Guinness, I see?
Well, yeah, she was playing Skyrim, actually. We are interrupting her precious Skyrim time.
How dare we?
I know. I mean, Skyrim interrupts her Skyrim time enough as it is. She actually today she clocked. It takes about 45 seconds every single loading screen. Doesn't matter if she's just going inside a house or into like a new area or something. It's 45 seconds at least.
Yep, that's the PS4 loading times for you.
Well, this is PS3.
No, it's PS3. This is the original.
That's your
This is
PS3?
the OG Skyrim release. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. She was just telling me like 10 minutes ago that was showing me that she's been trying to clear out all of her miscellaneous side quests just because the list was getting a mile long. And there's like at least 2 or 3 of them that are just stuck there forever because of bugs. Even though she's completed the tasks, they're just sitting there annoying her, mocking her because they won't clear.
Bethesda.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but whatever.
And PS3 doesn't have the mod capabilities, right? You can't you can't install the unofficial patch for it.
I don't think so. No, I think that's all. I wouldn't know how to do that on PS3. That's only on PC version, right?
Xbox and PS4 you can do mods.
Oh, okay. I even looked at because we have like just a regular standard edition copy, a disc copy. I looked on the PSN network, or I guess that's like saying ATM machine, the PlayStation Network, for just to buy the DLC separately. You can't even buy the DLC separately. It's either you have the standard edition, like an ancient copy on disc, or you have a game. You buy a Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, the older versions kind of got eliminated basically. So
yeah. Whatever. It's enough Skyrim for us. Anyway, what the hell have you been playing?
pretty much the new expansion of WoW that came out. I don't know if you were recording when we talked about this earlier, but we have World of Warcraft Shadowlands is out now. I've been playing a Warhammer game. The franchise is Total War, so it's by Sega. It's probably one of my, outside of World of Warcraft and maybe Dota, it's probably my top 3 franchise played time. They used to do just like medieval. I don't know if you ever watched the History Channel back when they actually showed history on it, but
Not aliens and shit.
Not ancient aliens and Pawn Stars. Back when it was the Hitler Channel and occasionally older history. But back in the day, one of they actually used one of their older games on the History Channel to show sort of like troop movements and what massive battles would look like. If you remember the battle scene in the opening of Lord of the Rings, where all the different armies of the elves and men were just like charging Mordor, that's kind of what the game looks like. You just have these massive armies and they just clash head on, fight each other type thing.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then hopefully I'll be playing Cyberpunk in a couple of days.
I want it so bad. but I would have to actually buy a new desktop to play that,
Do it.
or get the P. It's coming out cross-platform, right? Because we're right in
Yeah.
that next gen area there, the crossover area right now. So PS4,
Yes.
PS5,
And
Xbox.
if you buy the PS4 version, I believe they did say you will get the PS5 version for free in case you decide you want a PS5.
And replay it.
Well, we do want a PS5, but can we afford a PS5?
We could if we wanted to.
But do we
Don't
really
need to
want
spend
to
the money
right
right now.
now?
You have a stack of games already. That's why I wanted to ask you, how bad did you fall down the rabbit hole on all those? Well, all the sales have been going since Thanksgiving and beyond, and Black Friday
Um,
sales and Cyber Monday sales.
Not very. I picked
Your
up
Steam
like,
library hasn't doubled once again.
well, my Steam library is already obnoxiously large. I think I looked at it at one time. There's a website that calculates the current retail value of your Steam library, and I think I was in the like 2400 range or something like that. And that doesn't even count like in-game purchases. It doesn't
Mhm.
count if you would have bought it at a higher price. Say I bought the game at $40, but now it's on sale for $10 now or something like that because it's a 8-year-old game. And then I think I only picked up like 4 or 5 games on Steam. Some medieval survival game, uh, a Cold War like submarine game. And then on the PS4, I picked up the Final Fantasy remake. That one's gonna be pretty interesting. The Final Fantasy remake. I started playing it a little bit, but they changed the combat. It's no longer really turn-based. It's sort of like action-y RPG
Action
where
RPG.
you're like hack and slashing
Like
kind of.
Zelda,
And then what was that?
like Zelda.
Kind of, but yeah. And then you can use abilities. You pause time for like a brief bit while you select what abilities you want to use,
Mhm.
and then it'll use the special ability, and then you'll go back to hacking and slashing for 10 seconds while you build up more mana to use another special ability.
Hmm. Yeah, I
So
mean, I never played the old ones, so I wouldn't know. But I mean, I'm familiar with the old turn-based RPGs.
you never played the PS1 era and the SNES one or SNES version like
I have,
RPGs?
that's part of my where my geek cred is diminished. I have never played any of the Final Fantasies. I've never played through any of them. The only one I started to play was 8 on PC, and
Oh,
I was just too
you
dumb. I didn't understand the magic system, and then I heard later that people said, "Oh, that's the bad one. Don't play that one."
Yeah,
I'm like,
you
"Oh,
literally picked up the worst one to play right after the best one. The literal best Final Fantasy that was ever made was 7.
well, then
And
then I started hearing that a few years back they did a remaster, right, where they just up-resed everything and kind of cleaned it up, and now they did the full remake, and so I'm like, okay,
yeah,
well, I'll just wait to play that.
so there's two different. So there's the remaster like you said, and it's, I mean, if you can really call it a remaster, it looks dated as shit.
Yeah,
I couldn't
Is it
play it.
like
And
still playable dated or like not even playable dated?
not even playable dated.
mm.
Alright.
Like
Well,
the
see,
graphics, like you can definitely tell it was a PS1 game,
yeah,
even on the upgraded the remaster. Now the remake, I mean, it tells the same story and all the it looks really good, but the gameplay is completely different. It's not the turn-based strategy that people from that era know and love. It's
yeah.
still fun, and you'll still get the entire story. Um,
The
I
only, sorry, go ahead.
I just don't think the gameplay is as fun as it would have been if they would have like really went in depth and made it turn-based.
Yeah, the only experience I had with the actual like old school turn-based um, RPGs was on SNES, Super Mario RPG, which mimicked
It's
that whole style. And I
it's
played,
the same thing. It
yeah,
would have been the same thing.
yeah. I just for some reason that one like captured me. I never knew like what to would see friends play in passing the Final Fantasy games, and I was like, oh, okay, I mean, like it looks interesting, I guess, looks kind of anime-ish, and it just passed me by, and I never bothered to take a chance on it. But of course, I love Mario games, and I played the fuck out of Mario RPG. To this day, I replay Mario RPG maybe every 5 years. Like
Yeah.
I just have to do a full run through. I mean that, like Super Metroid. There's a few of those that I'll probably be playing forever. Ocarina of Time.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but a couple of months ago, there was this. I guess this is one of the big This year was one of the big anniversaries for Mario. So a bunch of new Mario games came out, and a bunch of, well, not new, but they remastered a bunch of the stuff for the Switch and brought out a bunch of stuff. But recently, like the last month or so, there was a tweet or two from Square Enix at Nintendo,
Hmm,
and that got people all hyped for a possible Super Mario RPG, either remaster or sequel or something.
that'd be fun.
Because
I
the
thought
rights
oh, sorry.
the rights are really complicated with that game. That's why it's never been really re-released before. Um, Square Enix owns the game and the rights to the any sequels or anything like that, though Nintendo owns all of the characters and images and everything. But Square Enix doesn't really work with Nintendo. They work almost exclusively with Sony.
Right.
So
I
that's why a sequel or a remaster was never really on the table.
Okay. I never played any of them, but I thought the Paper Mario series were supposedly sequels to the Mario RPG game.
No, not really. They're their own little thing.
Oh, okay. I need to mix that up. I did finally grab on sale. I got the last Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I believe it is. Got Meg a copy of Fallout 4, Doom. I don't remember the name of the
Eternal.
Doom Eternal. Thank you. Yeah, and I actually picked up because it was literally like $1 for classic Doom because I had the itch to go back and play the classic ones.
Did you also pick up God of War for me?
God of War, yeah. Meg just
Oh,
recently went through. We only have God of War 1 and 2, the remasters on PS3. And so Meg finished 2 the other day, and we started looking through the series, like, okay, which ones are we missing? And so I grabbed God of War 3 remastered on the PS. I forget if it's on 3 or 4. I think it's on 4. And then the latest one, which is just called God of War.
Which I
So,
heard wasn't that game of the year. It was. I had so many friends talking about how fucking amazing it was. In fact, one of my friends, Tiffany, cosplayed as one of the characters in it. I think it was the son.
boy.
oh, really? Boy.
And then I think Tony also picked me up Stardew Valley as well.
Yeah.
Oh, have you started playing that yet?
No, because I've been so consumed with Skyrim. I really can't play more than one game at a time.
Okay.
Unless it's like a console game, regardless of what it is, and then maybe a handheld game that I'm playing at school or something.
Oh, did you pick up Stardew on PS3 or did you pick it up on the PC?
PS4.
Oh, PS4.
Yeah. Oh, and
I wonder if we
Last of
can
Us.
crossplay.
Last of Us 2, finally. Grab that.
I wonder if there's crossplay between the versions, because I'll totally play Stardew Valley with you if we can
it's multiplayer?
crossplay.
Oh.
Well, I think I have it on 3 different platforms at the moment, but I don't have it on the PlayStation.
Take it
I
your
mean,
food.
it's a cheap game. It's only like, you can usually pick it up on five or $10 on sale. But I've spent so many hours in that because for a long time I was using Stardew Valley as my turn off the mind game right before I go to bed.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's very much a no rush, no hurry, no like there's no stakes involved. There's nothing. Well, I mean, you could screw up and let your plants die, but that's the biggest thing that would happen to you.
That's cool.
It's very casual and calming and relaxing. Mindless tasks. That's all it is.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
mindless.
When I was a kid, my parents, when my dad died, my mom stopped buying us consoles after the SNES and the Sega Genesis. And then I was dating a girl at the time who had a PS2, and she had Harvest Moon for the PS2, and I was so obsessed with that game that like I begged my mom for a PS2 for Christmas that year, and she got me the PS2 and Harvest Moon and the Mortal Kombat that came out at the time, because there was a storyline that went with it, which I was also insanely obsessed with. And
Annihilation, I think.
I'm not sure, I don't even remember. But I really got into the Harvest Moon series and picked up the next few games that had come out for it. But I really liked that mindlessness, or the taking care of the farm with the small little storyline where you build little relationships with, you know, the people in town and whatnot.
That's
but
exactly the same game.
Exactly, which is why I will love Stardew Valley.
Yeah, the creator said he wanted to do a literal homage to it. It's pretty much exactly that. Like just what you described. You take care of your farm, you have a few farm animals, and the storyline is very minimal. You just build relations with the townsfolk. You can marry one of the townsfolk, and that's it. That's all you do.
Is there like a catch-all genre or term for like the gaming community for that type of game? Because I know like a lot of the ones that I enjoy, like the cheap ones you see on Steam and what have you, they call them Metroidvanias, where essentially it's like any kind of like exploratory, like very solitary single player one like that, where you just explore a planet or a castle, fight some monsters, have to backtrack for upgrades and unlock new areas. It's always like a cross between Castlevania and Metroid. Is there one for like?
I think it's just Harvest Sim. Harvest Sim, I think is what it's called. Is the genre.
All right. I had one of the original Sims, like the Sims games in like early 2000s on PC, and I played it for a little while, but I don't know. For me, I'm just the type of gamer, I guess. Like I need a very specific plot, or like I look at them like movies. Like there's a start, there's a beginning, middle, end. If there isn't, then I get kind of bored after a while. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing about sim games is the stories are the stories that you make. You are it's like Dungeons and Dragons. You're the storyteller. You're the GM.
Yeah.
You decide the narrative. So for example, like if you're talking about the Sims, you have your group of Sims, say you can have one sim and it's a very bachelor life. It's very easy to play. You do whatever the fuck you want, and then you've finished you get tired of that one, and then you decide, okay, let me up the chaos factor a little bit and let me put in 5 sims all in one house, and now suddenly one sim is lighting a fire in the kitchen because it doesn't know how to cook. Another one's electrocuting himself at the TV because he's trying to fix the TV. The other one's jogging himself to death because you walled up the treadmill and he can't get off the treadmill.
So you're just playing God. You're creating and destroying life just for the sake of watching the world burn.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
That sounds like your MO, your lullabies being disaster movies and all. Jeez. Uh, we had discussions as I was, throwing my credit card at the computer with all these games. We talked and we were very close to grabbing a Switch finally, but we decided there was a big deal on Black Friday deals, and I mean they sold out like that anyway, so it didn't matter. But the Mario Kart bundle, it was like 300 for like the console and Mario Kart and 3 months of Nintendo Online or whatever. But we already have, if I'm correct, that Mario Kart 8, that's the exact same one they put out for the Wii U.
Yeah,
Like, that's
same
still
thing.
several years old. We already have that on the Wii U, so it's like, well, we don't care about rebuying that. So if they came out with some sort of holiday bundle with Animal Crossing, then we'd probably pull.
Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, then we'd probably pull the trigger, but we haven't seen anything like that yet.
I'm just surprised you didn't pick it up for all the Mario remakes and remasters that were coming out this year.
Well, it was sold out for the entire year, most of the year. I mean, I did once the pandemic hit.
We were so close to buying one.
Yeah, when quarantine hit in the first few months, and like everybody, like I have my Slack chat with my author buddies across the country, and they were balls deep in Animal Crossing, what's your code? What's your code? What's your code? And I started to feel left out. I'm like, well, fuck. All right. Well, I guess this is the thing to do in quarantine. Might as well make the excuse to pull the trigger. But it was fucking sold out everywhere. So I signed up for all of those alert websites where it's like stock alerts, restocking alerts. So they would email me or text me the second new stock came in. And those didn't even start coming in until like maybe midsummer or something. They were able to start pushing more out to stores. And even then it was like, oh, Target threw, a few more units into, their online shops overnight, like at 12 or like 1, 2 a.m. And they would be gone like that because the fucking scalpers buy them all up and resell them on eBay or some shit. So
Well,
after a
I
while
mean,
I stopped.
all the consoles were coming from China, and the container ships were just sitting in the ports for months, and they
Yeah.
couldn't get them in.
Well, even the factories had to shut down because of COVID, and so the parts, the actual hardware, the factories that made the actual controllers and the console, like the outer casing and everything, they were shut down for weeks or months. So that caused a whole backlog in production. So.
Well, there was a point where one of the GameStops around us finally got one in, and so it was really that moment of, do I run and go grab it real quick, or do we really need this right now?
Yeah.
And so it was literally like a 5-minute decision that we decided to pass on it.
Yeah,
we kind of stopped looking for it after that.
Yeah, there was a time or two where I actually had it in my cart on the GameStop website, and then by the time I tried to process the payment or go to the next page, it was gone. So I was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, right. After a while, it started becoming so frustrating. I was like, this is stupid. Like, I have a stack of games at home.
It's just a year telling you you're not gonna play it. You're not gonna use it anyway. Just stop.
Yeah.
Well, now everybody's kind of cooled down on the Animal Crossing crazy. I see a few friends that still play it on occasion, but not nearly as much as before.
Yeah, it's not the hot thing anymore. The hot thing of the last couple of months has been a game called Among Us. That's
I've heard about that. I thought that was PC.
It's consoles and PC. It's a little indie game. What it is have you ever played Mafia as a party game?
No, I have not.
Okay, so have you played Town of Salem?
Nope.
Okay, so these are like party games. These are games you would play in a large group of people in person. What it is, but what they've done is they've taken it and made it a computer game. What it is you have 10 players in a lobby, and in your 8 out of the 10 players are crew members, and they're responsible for going around doing tasks and fixing the ship and essentially the daily life of crewmates for a couple of turns. And then out of every out of every 10 people, there's 2 imposters. These are monsters that are that have decided to kill everybody. And every turn is about between a minute to 2 minutes. The townspeople are doing tasks. The imposters are trying to kill the townspeople while not being seen or figured out. So it's basically a social deduction game. Once the turn is over, either by somebody deciding to call a meeting or somebody finding a body, catching a killer in the act, whatever, the town comes together and everybody talks about it and says, hey, this is what I did, this is what I saw. And as you're talking to each other, you have to figure out who the imposter is, and you accuse the imposter, and like you can kill the imposter, or like it's all about social interactions. And do you believe this person's lying? Do you believe this person says he did what he said he did?
Right.
Did somebody eyewitness the event, and do you believe them? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I've seen friends post about it here and there and reference it on IG. I actually saw on Twitter maybe a week or so back, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she on a whim, I guess, partnered with some Twitch streamer. I'm not familiar with them, but partnered with them and spent a night, a few hours doing a fundraiser on there, just playing Among Us, learning how to play the game and going through it, and just accepting donations on the Twitch stream, I believe it was, and racked up 200K in just a few short hours. 200K, which gets directly donated to, I think it was like 6 different organizations, going straight towards COVID relief for small businesses, for
The majority of it went to food banks, I
food
believe it
banks.
was.
Yeah, food banks for COVID relief. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
she's actually played it twice on stream now. The first time she did it with Ilan Omar, which is another one of the House members that it's part of her like
yeah,
squad.
the
That's what
squad.
they call and then
I
this
kind of love that
time,
because it just feels so like 70, like Mod Squad or something. The squad.
and then this time she did it with a I don't remember the exact term that they use in Canada, but like a Congress member from Canada that's also part of the Canadian Socialist Party.
Like a
So
parliament.
like the minister
Yeah, Parliament.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Ministry of Silly Hats.
Yeah.
yes,
Silly
exactly.
Lights. I mean, whatever.
And then yeah, and then it was just a bunch of other random streamers. So good times.
That's awesome. Well, I guess it kind of flows into movie news if you wanted to kick that off.
Yeah, got
Well,
some
first,
big
yeah,
news today.
we got some big stuff. Well, actually, let me start from the top of my list because we have some business from our previous podcast that I have to acknowledge. When we were talking with Melly not last week, 2 weeks ago, the last podcast episode, at some point in the conversation, we mentioned some adult drive-ins that exist in the country somewhere. And I couldn't remember where the hell they were. Somewhere, some magical place in Texas. And I tracked them down. So if you're ever in Texas and you're in need of a triple X drive-in, the Apache Drive-In Theater, legendary Apache Drive-In Theater, is in, I believe the town is Tyler, Texas. Tyler, Texas, yeah. To this day, exclusively playing skin flicks off of Highway 31.
Wow.
The other one, that was the Apache. The other one was the Fiesta Drive-In.
Fiesta.
Yeah, the Fiesta Drive-In, which is actually at the north end of El Paso. That one I was able to confirm is still in operation. There was just an article recently on them as of August. Somebody who went there. That one is huge, actually. That's
what she said.
Yeah, that one. The lot apparently holds over 400 vehicles.
Jesus.
And
400 people just jerking off in their cars to.
And they've got, and they've got a little. Well, I don't know if it's open now during COVID, but they have a little concession stand and a little adult shop and everything. Oh, they've got a little adult shop, and I think they said even like a few little private screening booths in there. But so if you're in the great state of Texas and you're in the need of having a fun night out and safely in your car, then either the Fiesta Drive-In or the Fiesta is still open. Not sure about the Apache. I couldn't find any updates on them. The last Facebook post was from April, where they were first closing down due to the shelter-in-place orders, but who knows? Anyway, business that needed attending to from the last episode. Also, December 1st, we had an anniversary. Thanks to my Facebook memories, I realized that was 8 years to the day that we recorded our first Getting Off Topic episode.
Good Lord, has it been 8 years already?
It was December 1st, 2012. 2012. We pressed record in the Lindbrook bowling alley. Lindbrook bowling alley bar.
And I don't think it was even the bar. It was like the outside portion of the bar with the high counter.
Yeah, the other side where you could order drinks. Yeah.
It was the outer bar because the inner bar wasn't open yet. They didn't open that early in the morning because we were drinking at like 9 a.m.
Yeah, I believe they started drinks at 10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m. in the bowling alley bar on a Sunday, drinking Millers. uh, it is insane that's been, dude, that's 8 years in Orange County.
Yeah,
That's,
you guys
yeah,
have been out of San Diego for that long.
it feels weird.
You've spent more of your adult life in Orange County than you have in San Diego.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, I guess you could say that.
Maybe it's halfsies right now.
Yeah. And eight, whatever. I'm not gonna fucking do math right now. But I was younger and probably still feeling old at that time. That's nuts. But as the state of the film industry is all a frizzle frazzle, we had some major news this week with Warner Brothers officially announcing that their entire 2021 film slate is going to premiere both on HBO Max and in theaters. To which Hollywood is essentially, or actually the theater industry is shitting a brick.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's freaking out saying, oh, this is the death knell of the theater industry and we're all fucked and blah, 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 blah.
Well, to be fair, the it does have, like, I would say probably 3 or 4 of the biggest releases of this year that are on this list.
Well, where Wonder Woman was already announced coming, I don't think it's Christmas Day. I think it's a few days before Christmas, something like that. But as of 2021, they have, I mean, freaking Dune,
So
Matrix 4.
here's the list in release order. It's good
Okay.
if my cat will get off my keyboard. Sorry. So first up is Mortal Kombat coming in January.
Shit, I forgot that's
That's
even happening.
that's interesting because we haven't seen even a single still photo from this film yet.
Yeah, you
Like
would think that would be more on the nerd radar.
they have not released anything, any promo material about this yet.
Huh.
So we have that coming in January. That's the first one up. The Little Things, which is a Denzel and Rami Malek movie with Jared Leto. I have no idea what it is.
Hmm.
We have Tom and Jerry with Chloe Grace Moretz and Michael Pena.
Oh dear.
That ought to be interesting.
Uh, yeah,
Interestingly uninteresting.
yeah, pass.
It's
But
Michael Pena. Come on.
yeah, but it's just gonna be little CG shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, carry on.
The Many Saints of Newark, a gangster film with Michael Gandolfini, Ray Liotta, and John Bernthal.
Hmm.
So that should be interesting. That's in March. Reminiscence with Hugh Jackman.
Hmm.
That's in April. Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh shit.
I've been waiting for that one. Don't
Yeah.
know if there's going to be much publicity around it because the last one kind of flopped.
Yeah, I still have never even seen that last Godzilla. I don't remember what the hell was it. It was like Godzilla King of Monsters or something.
Yeah, Godzilla
Yeah.
King Monsters. I don't understand how they're going to go to Godzilla versus Kong after that last movie.
Hmm.
So that last movie was insane in terms of monster power creep.
Hmm.
Like all of the monsters that we're dealing with in the last one were like world-ending monsters, and then now suddenly you're going back to Kong.
Yeah, I remember
Kong,
seeing. I only saw bits of it in the break room at work, like on one of my lunch breaks, and it's like, oh, okay, this looks like, it's a lot of pretty CG. Like I don't know how the story, how entertaining it is, but it's
is
essentially like,
okay.
okay, this looks like 2 to 2.5 hours of just the world exploding,
Yeah,
and now you're gonna go, well, just Godzilla, have a super punch out with the big ape.
yeah. That's exactly that's what's happening. It's like you
Wait,
have this
was the last one the one with the girl from
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Millie
Okay, yeah,
Bobby
I think I
Brown.
can see that.
Oh yeah.
It looks kind of dumb.
Yeah, there was a
It was
Godzilla one. I don't remember what the year of the first one was. And a few years later, we got Kong Skull Island, which was fucking incredible.
Yeah, that was so good.
And then this last Godzilla King of Monsters, which I don't know. I can't form an opinion on it.
It was okay. It was good if all you wanted was popcorn disastery fun.
All right.
But I think that would have been better if it would have come out after this movie, because I think the power creep in the last movie, Godzilla, especially after watching Godzilla or Kong when it came out, and seeing okay, so he's just a big ape. He's a strong, huge, giant ape.
Mhm.
Okay, whatever. And then if you go Godzilla versus Kong, and then you go Godzilla King of Monsters, that makes more sense. But I don't know.
It's like
Well,
going from Infinity War to like Ant-Man or something,
yeah,
or
exactly.
some random Iron Man 2 villain or something.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
That's exactly it.
I mean, not shitting on Kong, but if you have
Yeah,
King of Monsters movie where it's like the big battle royale and then just a little one-on-one, yeah. Oh, I don't know, we'll see what happens.
after that, we have The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. I have no idea how many conjurings that makes now,
The
but there's a
Conjuring 45. I don't know.
probably. The Heights. I have no idea what that is. Space Jam: A New Legacy.
It's actually happening.
Yeah, yeah. It actually happened. It's already done filming with LeBron James, Don Cheadle, Sonequa Martin Green, and Sear Wright.
I'll take
So
it. I'll take it. I miss me some Looney Tunes. Actually,
yeah,
they have some new Looney Tunes cartoons, I believe, on HBO Max. I heard they were actually decent.
and Animaniacs is returned as well on Hulu, I think it is. And
Oh,
then we have after that comes Suicide Squad with
Suicide
the
Squad,
whole
yes.
gigantic cast that it's got.
I
Fuck
love it. I can't
And
wait.
then
yes.
the big one is Dune, and that's on October 1st.
Yep.
I am
And
excited for it, but I'm trying not to get too hyped about
Overhyped
it,
for it. Yeah.
to be
did you read?
honest.
I think we talked about this before. Did you read the books or the book?
I did
No.
not. No, I tried reading the first book, but it starts with so much political background trying to set up the world that I just got extremely confused.
It
And
doesn't just start with that. It's like
That's
that
the whole book.
almost half. Like I did the audiobook. I bought that on Audible like 6 months ago, and then when I started playing, when Shadowlands came out, I started the first 2 days that I was playing Shadowlands. I had that going in the background, and I think I listened to probably 12 to 14 hours of it. That wasn't even halfway through the book. I think the audio book is like 40 or 50 hours,
it's a
Mm.
gigantic book.
and it was nonstop, just political talk
Yeah,
about this
it's
house
so
and that
dense.
house, and
Yeah, it's so dense that I just couldn't get into it. However, I loved the 90s miniseries that they did on TV. I mean, it's super outdated now and cheesy as all hell, but I love the story. I think it's a really cool story, but
Yeah.
I couldn't get into the book.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
solid. I've never seen the movie version with Sting. Just like clips on online and stuff. But yeah, we watched the whole. It's like 3 or 4 hour
I think
miniseries.
we have it on DVD.
Yeah, I think we still do. Yeah. Um, yeah, I guess when it boils down to, if I remember right, I mean, we only watched it the one time. I only watched it the one time, but a lot of that heavy political drama, world building. But in the end, it all boils down to like your typical Star Wars, hero's journey, like blah blah
Yeah,
blah blah blah. You're the chosen one. The end.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
then
Dennis whoever his name is, it mastermind behind the Blade Runner 2049. So it's going to be pretty as fuck
yeah,
and probably pretty damn entertaining. So I'm in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have up next is a music biopic from Tom Hanks for Elvis.
Huh. All right.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with anything. Tom Hanks. Who's playing Elvis?
I don't know. Cat, get off my keyboard.
Even if it was just Tom Hanks, like I don't give a fuck. Like I would watch the shit out of it.
I mean, it could
You
be
play him at
older.
all ages. I don't care.
Could
Like
be
make
old Elvis.
Yeah, maybe.
They said
It
Tom
stars.
Hanks can play young Elvis, and then Tom Hanks can play old
Steps
Elvis.
in. Elvis through the eras. Like, what if Elvis didn't die on the shitter and actually lived to be a gray old man?
Elvis lives.
Well, wasn't that Bubba Hotep?
Yeah, that's Bubba Hotep. That was the story behind.
Nice. Good. uh, wow.
Then after that, we have King Richard, which is a Will Smith movie. I think it's about the father of the Venus and Serena Williams.
Oh yeah, I think I heard about that one. Like sports drama
And
one.
yeah, and
We
then
haven't even gotten to Matrix 4, right?
that's the next one. That's the next big one on the list, starring Keanu, Carey, and Jada. So they're all back.
Nice. I don't even remember what happened to Jada's character in the end. She lived?
Yeah, she lived. She retreated back to Zion and was part of the defense force, shooting all of the Sentinels that were coming in.
I'm curious how they're gonna write back in Carrie and Keanu, and just maybe they just exist as like digital souls in the machine or something, or
Probably. I mean, that makes most sense for Keanu's character at least, and he's powerful enough to recreate her or just pull her in, have like collect her body and put her mind in the Matrix.
sure.
I mean,
It doesn't have to
Keanu
make
is.
sense. It
I
doesn't.
mean, it doesn't, but Keanu is this all powerful being within the Matrix, so why
No.
not?
By the way, Meg and I finally watched Bill and Ted 3.
How is it? I still
So
haven't seen it yet.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It doesn't make any sense, but it's just solid fun. None of those movies make sense. But we went back and rewatched the original two maybe a month or so back, and finally just rented the latest one. But it's good. It's good family fun.
Nice.
Yeah, and them performing together are fucking fantastic. They're a joy. It's something that you didn't think would ever work, and somehow it does, and it's just some of those good-hearted feels that you need in the year of COVID. So yeah,
Uh,
definitely
How,
recommend.
and how does Keanu look? Because I saw some stills with him shaved without his like
it's
John Wick
so
beard.
weird.
Oh yeah, it's strange. It takes a lot of getting used to. Although well, I don't want to give anything away, but you see them in very different appearances throughout the film.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, time travel. You know,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
time travel.
yeah,
Timey-wimey things.
full show. Yeah,
And then just a couple of meh releases after that. We have Judas and the Black Messiah. That one doesn't have a date. Malignant doesn't have a date. And Those Who Wish Me Dead does not have a date.
yeah.
Don't know what any of those are.
Right. Yeah. I saw there was some, I can't find it now, but there was some quote from the Warner Brothers CEO. It was basically telling everybody to calm their tits. That no, we're not destroying the theater industry. Like, we're just dealing with 2021 here because of the pandemic. Like, that's it. We're just planning for this year. Like, we're not saying that we're pulling out of theaters forever. Like, we're just taking it as it comes. Calm the hell down.
I don't think theaters will ever truly die, though. They might get a hit in terms of attendance,
Yeah.
but I mean, there is an audience for people that want to see films on a big screen that, especially superhero films are still extremely popular, and those are meant to be seen on such a big screen.
Yeah. I think sorry, go ahead.
No, so I was just gonna say, so I don't think theaters are gonna go completely obsolete. It might be harder for the smaller movies that maybe weren't going to be box office hits.
I think just like with any industry that ends up taking a hit because of changes in technology or just the circumstance of the world. I mean, Meg's been working bookstores for the last decade or so, and was at Barnes and Noble and saw the fall of Borders, the big box bookstores that slowly crumbled, and
The
Barnes and
rise
Noble
of
business slowly.
Kindles.
Yeah, Barnes & Noble desperately making moves to try to stay in business, creating the Kindle and then going heavy into the Nook, their like board games and toys sections and music and CDs sections and stuff and DVD sections. So I mean, the movie theaters are not going to go the way of the dinosaur, but we'll definitely see a reshaping of that industry where they're making moves to stay afloat, and you'll probably see kind of like big chains getting smaller and more consolidated, or the rise of smaller little indie places. We're already seeing the rise of drive-ins. Drive-ins are popping back up, and just like AMC has been doing, creating their like little exclusive experiences. You got the standard theaters, and then you have like the dine-in ones that give you like, oh, here's a full bar and like some chicken wings and shit, and the extra soft reclining chairs, and you'll probably just get more of that, more buy into that experience to make it worthwhile for a consumer to actually pay and go out of their home to see something on the big screen.
Yeah, that's the experience that I think is going to become the norm in the next phase of movie theaters, because movie theaters as they are right now are just like meat packing. Like you put a big screen and you put as many seats in there as you possibly can. I think that's going to go away, and naturally they're going to take those out, and they're going to start putting back in the bigger chairs, the recliners. Like I even saw some I think in Texas, like they put in full-in beds. So there was like the sleep number, the adjustable beds where you could lay flat or you could have the thing angled.
Sleep number.
Yeah.
So many kids, and not kids, but like teens and young people are gonna be having sex in those. That'd be gross.
It's Paul Rubens all over again.
He was a pioneer. So yeah. I mean, they're like half and half now anyway. I mean, I guess depending on your area, but like all the AMC's around us, they'll have the big ticket releases like an Avengers movie or something on the extra big screens, the IMAX or Dolby screens or whatever, the extra big one. Yeah, Dolby Atmos, IMAXs, etc. They'll have like maybe 4 of those in the main lobby, and with the big reclining seats and the extra sound system and blah 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 blah. Maybe the food, the food delivery coming into the whole dine-in theater experience. So they'll do that for a select number of the theaters, and then you go out to the usual side lobbies, and then you've got the the meat packing ones, the old-fashioned ones that are just the little cheapy chair and just cramming everybody in like it's an airplane, just getting as many bodies in there as possible. So right now it's about like half and half, or maybe even like 60-40 or something like that, or 25-75, whatever. And you'll just probably see that start to slowly overtake, and that'll just be the standard theater from now on, that luxury experience. And maybe at a higher cost, but maybe that'll just be the way they're going to have to go about it. I don't know. An actual movie news. Here's one that actually bridges back to our video game conversation. This is what I was going to get into in the first place. And going back to the King Kong talk, because the director of that, Jordan Vogt Roberts, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. The VOGT Roberts, Jordan Vogt Roberts, whatever. He has been attached to develop and direct a Metal Gear Solid movie at Sony Pictures for I don't know how many years now. And occasionally he'll put out a tweet saying, "Oh yeah, we're still working on it, guys. We're everything's kind of in flux right now, but we're trying." And I expressed my love multiple times of Kong Skull Island, and so I totally trust this guy's vision, and he's a massive Metal Gear fan, so he's like, we want to get it right, and we're not going to we're not going to Hollywood it up. We want it to be true to Metal Gear Solid, the video game. We want to keep it weird and out there and anime and fucked up and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, finally, after this has actually been rumored for the last couple of years, Oscar Isaac has been announced to play Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid.
How the fuck does that man have any time? He is in so much shit right now. Like,
Uh,
he's got an HBO miniseries with Jessica Chastain. He's Moon Knight, for fuck's sake.
yeah.
He
Mm-hmm.
looks familiar, but I can't place where I know him from.
Oscar
Star
Isaac.
Wars.
Star Wars. He's
Oh, duh.
yeah.
Yeah, he's Poe.
Poe. Yeah.
All right. It's weird seeing a picture of him with a beard like that because I recognize the eyes and the nose, but I'm like, where do I know that from? If he was clean shaven, I'd probably be able to recognize him a little easier.
He's also in Narcos. He was in Driver. He was the shitty boyfriend in Driver.
Oh wow. I only saw it once ages ago.
Love that movie. It's so good.
Yeah, and I never saw Narcos either. I've always heard good things about that. But yeah. So Metal Gear Solid, they're still working on it, and with Oscar Isaac attached, I'm sure Sony's going to be all on board with it now. Like, oh my God, we have to put this out because then they will print money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is one of the top stars in Hollywood right now.
Yeah. I mean, those video game adaptations, they're always tricky. I still, I mean, I've said it 100 times on this podcast before. I prefer to see announcements of adaptations to TV series or miniseries. You know, I was excited. I was initially I was like, oh, Last of Us adaptation movie. They were gonna have a movie, and I was kind of like, well, that's such a because video games are such an extended experience where you live with these characters for a while, and that's what makes it memorable. You go through all these experiences with them, and to cram it into a quick 2 hours, it just doesn't do it justice. I mean, it's just like book lovers who see their precious babies get movie adaptations and they go, oh God, fucking, they cut out this thing, they cut out that thing, they cut out everything.
Are you telling me that the Mortal Kombat films and the Street Fighter films and Super Mario Brothers are not just the pinnacle of cinema?
I
now
actually really like the Mario Brothers movie. It gets shit on so much, but I adore it.
those are fucking fantastic. And here's the difference because Metal Gear Solid is an extended, narrative experience, just like The Last of Us or anything else like that. You're talking about fighting games. Mortal Kombat doesn't have much of a story to begin with, so you got more wiggle room to get what you need in there and get out and have an entertaining experience. Mario Brothers,
They're plumbers. They're brothers.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. And that's just an enigma of nature anyway. You can't really define or describe, you can't explain the lightning in a bottle that is Super Mario Brothers the movie.
You can't explain John Leguizamo. You just can't.
It is both a gift and a curse unto us, and it forever shall be. Amen. But no, just like I trust Jordan Vogt Roberts to deliver a wonderful Metal Gear experience for us. But I generally I get more excited when I hear that video game based adaptation is going towards a series or some sort of extended experience like that, which I was glad to hear that they eventually turned the Last of Us project into an HBO show. So I'm excited as fuck for that. But yeah, Metal Gear movie is actually happening. Again, that's another thing that's been in the works for maybe a decade plus. As far as the game, actually, I was thinking about this earlier when we were talking about the Final Fantasy remakes and such. That's been a rumor with this whole, next gen console era that we're in right now, a Metal Gear Solid remake. I don't know. I think it's just rumors and hearsay right now, but they've especially been building as the PS5 has been launched. David Hayter, the original voice actor, says he's down. He's super down to return if they come a calling. If I remember right, they didn't bring him back for the last one for Metal Gear 5.
I am not sure, but I think I remember hearing that the voice acting was awkward and off-putting for fans.
Yeah, I still haven't played through that one. That's another one that I picked up on the sales when I finally grabbed Metal Gear 5. But But yeah, David Hayter on Twitter said, I honestly don't know if the rumors are true, but if they are, let the studio know you'd like me back as Snake. I'm always down to return to Shadow Moses. What else we got? Oh, we do have to, I'll get this out of the way because it's a little sad. Have to pay tribute to two fallen, well, I was going to say heroes, but actually villains of cinema in the last 2 weeks here. R.I.P. to Mr. David Prowse, who was our Darth Vader.
Yep.
Yeah. James Earl Jones, of course, famously provided the voice.
Darth Vader.
Well, I think there was the one, the main one.
There was the guy under the suit, then there was the face of Darth Vader, and then there's the voice of Darth Vader.
Yes.
And then there's young Darth Vader.
Yeah. But
and then there's the other voice of
Darth Vader.
Okay. Well, David Prowse, British actor, and he was also like a competitive bodybuilder back in the day. I think he won a few like major competitions and stuff. But yeah, he died, unfortunately, at the age of 85, actually due to COVID-19.
Oh, that sucks.
Fucking sucks. Yeah, the story goes, he was spotted by George Lucas while he was back in the day doing his competitive bodybuilding stuff. He was in a bit part, actually, in A Clockwork Orange. And George Lucas offered him the choice of playing Chewbacca or Vader. And David Prowse actually picked Vader because, quote, everyone remembers the villain. Of course, maybe he didn't know at the time that he'd be under a full mask and bodysuit at the time, and dubbed over.
Didn't know that he wasn't going to be using his voice.
Yeah, but you know, he was the man for the entire original trilogy, and shortly after, a few days after he passed, a little Vader statue appeared in his hometown of Bristol. In memoriam, which is pretty cool. But yeah, fucking man, to get all the way to 85 and then get struck down by fucking COVID, that
by the Karen pandemic.
Yeah, fucking sucks. But rest in peace, Mr. David Prowse. Thank you for the memories. And one more. Maybe not as iconically known, but well, I guess this will be an argument for the geek community. But an actor by the name of Hugh Keys-Byrne, not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, Hugh Keys-Byrne. This man was immortalized by the original Mad Max. And he played the villain, the Toe Cutter.
Oh, I saw that.
In the original Mad Max, and then actually returned. He was brought back for Mad Max Fury Road. Director George Miller brought him back to play the Immortan Joe in Mad Max Fury Road.
I saw that. That was so sad.
Yeah, passed away this past week at the age of 73.
Did it say from what?
I'm not seeing it. No.
Maybe they haven't released it.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't speak for anything else that he's done, but yeah, an Australian actor who's known for, I think, mainly for those two Mad Max movies. But I mean, just if you didn't even know him as anything else, just that last fucking movie, that alone, I think, cements him as a, you know, iconic movie villain, movie character.
Yeah, Immortan Joe was up there with good villains of the last few years.
Yeah. Charlize Theron went on Twitter on Thursday morning and gave him a little tribute. She said, it was amazing that you were able to play an evil warlord so well because you were such a kind, beautiful soul. You will be deeply missed, my friend. Yeah, two iconic movie villains. So pour one out for them. This fucking year of COVID.
Damn it.
Yep. Let's see. In more movie news. Now this could be another one you can categorize under a gift and a curse. In the works, Disney, after fumbling the last time to give us more delicious Tron, they are now working on developing a new Tron trilogy of movies. That's the good part, maybe.
And the bad part is
headlined by Jared Leto. Yeah. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, I don't.
Ah, ah,
I,
ah.
see, we need David here to do the Joker laugh.
See, I can't do it.
Ah. Ah. God.
There a question mark on that one?
Ah. It's like a last minute, like I'm gonna kill you, and did I leave my keys in the car? I don't know. I mean, we're gonna see him again as the Juggalo Joker in
I think he's been dubbed the Juggalo
Juggalo Joker.
Joker.
He's gonna be back in Zack Snyder's extended Justice League, the Snyder Cut on HBO Max. So we'll see how that plays out. But I don't know. I'm just in indie dramas and things like that. Like, what was that one with him and Matthew McConaughey about the
Dallas Buyers Club.
Dallas Buyers
That
Club?
was so good.
Yeah, he was amazing in that. I think he's just one of those faces that, for some reason, when it comes to, I don't know, the Suicide Squad stuff and more like big nerdy franchising, I don't know. It's just something inside me kind of cringes. Like, it's just like, oh, that.
He's the douchebag Daniel Day-Lewis. That's who he is.
Douchebag Day-Lewis.
Yes, he's the character actor that takes it way too fucking far.
Yeah, that was the stuff too that bothered the whole bullshit about him, like doing the method thing and sending rats to his castmates on Suicide Squad, and I think it was Viola Davis who like mouthed off to the press about him, like how he could go fuck himself because she's like, no, done dealing with this fucking bullshit. Yeah,
But it's all right if you're a close cast and you want to pull pranks on each other because you're friends, and that's one thing. But if you're just trying to be an asshole because you're trying to get into character, that's completely.
Yeah. Dude, you get paid to play pretend for a living. Like, calm the fuck down.
Exactly.
But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, I don't even know if they're going to attempt to connect it to what happened before. I'm bummed that they're they just left the storyline hanging with Tron Legacy. I mean,
and
Olivia Wilde became a real boy, well, a real girl, and Cillian Murphy was was like the big corporate big bad, and like they kind of built him up to be the next what was it, Derringer or whoever, who was the big bad in the original.
mm-hmm.
I think that was the name. But anyway,
and then
it just felt like
recently
there's so many threads that were like, oh, we're gonna build on this, we're gonna have a trilogy or at least a part 3 to this, and just floundered.
fizzled and died. And then recently too, I don't know if you saw this, but there was a brief like YouTube video, like a 3 or 4 minute footage of somebody that taken the new deep fake technology that they've been using to put other movie stars into films that they were never in, just like put Arnold Schwarzenegger in Die Hard or whatever. You use deep fake technology.
Oh God.
But it's really convincing, and it looks a lot better. What they did is they took the deep fake and redid the some of the scenes where they're de-aging
Jeff Bridges,
and they, instead of the de-aging that Disney did, they took the deep fake and did that, and it looks so much fucking better. It looks almost photorealistic.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just the technology is so much better now than it even was a couple of years back.
Yeah.
So like they could still continue that story and use this technology instead of their shitty de-aging that they did then.
Yeah. That's crazy how much things just keep improving. Like if you do an entire Marvel rewatch now, and you watch Iron Man from 2008, and I remember when I remember sitting with my buddy Seth, and we were watching the first like teaser trailer for that, and just seeing him like the first like flyby shots for Iron Man, and going like, holy fucking shit, like, oh my God, like kind of like audiences in what was it, 77 78 Superman, like where the actual tagline for the teasers of Superman was like, you will believe a man can fly, and like it blew people's minds. And 2008 Iron Man was a form of that for us. Like, holy fucking shit, look at that. Like, look at that. That's fucking Iron Man flying. And now you look at 2008 Iron Man, it doesn't look bad, but just like there's subtle improvements of the technology from then to Infinity War, where now like he's fucking in a CG suit the entire time, and it looks seamless and it looks real and it's all there. In 2008, it's like, okay, that looks a little too polished, like the lighting effects aren't quite there, so it looks like it popped out of a computer. It still looks all right, but you know, it doesn't look like crap, but they've definitely improved since then. Just short 10 years, 12 years now.
Todd, I want your cats.
I have a list of like 4 people that have already said they're going to steal my cats if they come over.
There he goes.
She.
Oh, she.
That one's a girl. Come on, Tony.
Right.
Keep up with this.
Ahsoka. Wait, are they both? No, it's a boy and a girl, right?
Yes.
Ahsoka and Revan.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm glad I named the other one Revan because at the time I thought they were both girls. And Revan is gender neutral.
Yeah, Revan works. That's cool. It's almost like Raven or something. Revan.
Revan is from Darth Revan.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, just making sure.
Todd, come on.
Psh.
Well, speaking of that, should we get into it? We've got 2 weeks of the Mando.
Yes.
First,
there's
very fucking exciting weeks.
There is a small bit of news, Star Wars related.
Okay.
Kenobi is filming.
Oh,
in Boston.
Boston.
Not that Boston. Boston, England, thankfully.
Oh, okay. No, England had a Boston. Yeah, I didn't hear about that one. I heard the Cassian Andor series just started filming as well.
Yeah. There's a whole expanded universe of Star Wars coming up now, finally.
So much shit. Well, so I saw an article earlier and I kind of sighed, but I know I will have to watch it if it does happen. Now they're working on developing a Mando prequel.
No.
What?
Yeah. I don't know how much of it is just rumor or hearsay, but supposedly there was a casting notice that went out for something involving a potential.
So are we
Mando
talking about like Din Djarin's earlier life, or are we talking about maybe the dark time that Baby Yoda forgot?
I don't know. I would have to.
Well, his name's not Baby
Yeah,
Yoda
baby.
anymore, Todd. Come on.
No, his name is Baby Yoda. Fuck that shit.
We hadn't gotten to that yet, Meg. Jeez.
Well, that's why I didn't say his name.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's just get into it because there's a lot to unpack there. First
Mhm.
off, last week we had our wonderful debut of Ahsoka.
So we were wondering if maybe we're gonna see her like at the end, if it's just gonna be a little cameo, or are they gonna actually work with her? And then she is front and center in the first fucking scene.
Oh yeah, it's Ahsoka's episode. I'm sure we'll see her again before the finale, or maybe on the finale. I'm sure we'll see her again in season 2.
Well, yeah, there's only 2 more episodes, so.
Oh really? No shit.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, even after that one episode, there's talk of them giving her own series.
I'd watch that.
I'd watch it. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty great. I wondered, and I had an extended conversation with my sister the other day talking about it, because I'm really curious about the perspective of someone who hasn't watched all the shows and is not very familiar with the characters, but I know Meg, of course.
Come on, Tony, you're sitting right next to one.
I know.
In fact, I'm asking you all these questions as we're watching the episode.
Well, yeah. I'm just wondering about like the casual viewer who maybe doesn't have a Star Wars nerd in their life, who just watches this like a passive Star Wars, like, okay, they've seen the main movies, sure. Because part of me even thinks like, oh, sometimes maybe it isn't. Maybe it's a little better to not have any expectations leading up to this. Maybe it's just as an exciting Star Wars experience if it's just like, oh, this mysterious Jedi who, probably has some backstory that you're not familiar with, but it's just like, oh, this exciting new character and mysterious, and who is this? As opposed to the fanboy, like, on the edge of their seat and, oh, motherfuckers, they better get it right or else blah, 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 blah. And I can't wait to tweet about this bullshit and blah, blah, blah. You know, I think it might have been even a more enjoyable experience if you aren't, you know, all worked up about it with all these expectations built in. But that said, having watched everything, I thought it was wonderful. I saw people were wondering immediately, hey, what's up with her short ass head tails? The like costume and everything looks great, but I guess apparently production ended up making the choice to I don't know if there's a proper term for her species, like the tails that come off of her head, but very much shortened to like almost shoulder length. She had a shoulder bob, as opposed to the full length ones, just because of the practicality of it. Like if you have an actress running around doing all these stunts and hacking and slashing up the place, like you can't have these long ass things slapping yourself in the face along with everybody else. Like it wouldn't work.
They probably have to CGI it because of the practicality, and then that would just be too much.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
yeah, so everybody's wondering why she doesn't look like she did at the end of Rebels. So at the end of Rebels, she has the longer tails or whatever they're called, and the whole white suit and everything. And Filoni basically came out and said, well, we don't know exactly when that post-Rebels scene takes place. It might take place after this version of Ahsoka.
yeah, definitely some time has passed. Like they don't give an exact time frame, but like at least maybe some years, a year, or at least maybe a couple years have passed since Ezra disappears, and Sabine gives kind of like a little monologue, epilogue, and then meets up with Ahsoka, and they go off to go in search for him. So yeah, the timeline there is a little fuzzy. Anyway, great episode. We got to see Rosario Dawson in full action. I loved the introduction to her, and really showed how she was kind of a rebel among the Jedi to begin with. Like it's not very like the more monkish Jedi way, where she just goes in just laying into motherfuckers and just laying siege to that magistrate's front door, and gives her the ultimatum, like, hey, you got a day.
Of all the classic Jedis, she was more so a soldier than anybody else. Like when she started with Anakin as Anakin's Padawan, she in the middle of the Clone Wars, she was only like 12 or 11, and she was already a Jedi general.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like,
and then eventually ends up
first
leaving the Order, and so she's not technically not a Jedi anyway.
Yeah, so she's only known combat her entire life up until about the end of Rebels.
Yeah, she's there to get shit done.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but yeah, that was pretty great. We get more lore. We get her communicating with not Baby Yoda, but Grogu. To immediately, Meg and I were like, oh, so the writers of The Mandalorian, I guess, aren't American Dad fans, or else they would have realized that they named their adorable little main character after very similarly to Rogu from American Dad, which is like a demented, barely functional alien character made for kicks. I don't know. We couldn't get out of our heads. Like immediately, like Rogu.
To which then I sent you a photo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, whatever. Anyway,
I mean, it's a name. No matter what they picked, it was never gonna be Baby Yoda. So.
But that's all the fans are ever going to call him, is either the kid or Baby Yoda, or the child or Baby Yoda.
Yeah. And that was a good moment. I mean, kind of skipping ahead in this week's episode, where it starts off with him and Mando flying away, and he's just testing out the new name on him. Like it's like Mando trying to get used to it himself, and also getting a kick out of it because the kid actually does respond to it. It's like, oh, like the kid, like, most of the time, gives him shit, or doesn't really just kind of half pays attention to his orders. But Grogu, like, instantly he perks right up. So So yeah, it was kind of cute the way they worked that in. But I really enjoyed Ahsoka's conversation with him. At first it feels kind of like, ugh, we spent all this time getting to this side quest, and she just bumps us off to another. Like, no, I can't train him. No, fuck this kid. Get out of here. Get lost. Like, no. But maybe you can find some other Jedi if you go do this thing or whatever. At first it feels kind of like, oh man, this is kind of let down. But if you're familiar with the lore, it is very understandable, her reasoning being like, oh wow, I sense a lot of fear, anger in this kid. Can't be trained, period, end of story. Like, I have seen what happens when you train someone with that emotional baggage. And if you're familiar with the story, like, yeah, she got front row and center to Anakin becoming Vader. So that's a big fucking deal when she says those words.
Yeah, that was a big moment in Star Wars right there. Just her acknowledging that, and like that being what, 20, 30 years on, and that still kind of haunts her.
Yeah. Beyond that, the whole second half of the episode, them taking the town back from the evil magistrate and her second banana, Michael fucking Bean, which I love the level of nerdery happening behind the scenes on the Mandalorian production, because we got, first off, I mean, a sci-fi franchise icon, Michael Biehn, Terminator, Michael Biehn, motherfucking Aliens, Michael Biehn, and on top of that, what do they give him to play with? A laser shotgun. So Terminator stars Michael fucking Biehn kicking ass with a little pump action shotgun. Aliens stars Michael fucking Biehn kicking ass with a little pump action shotgun for close encounters. So what did they decide to give him? They could have given him any sort of standard laser gun or laser rifle. No, they modeled it after a pump action shotgun. Look at that episode. It's Michael fucking Biehn with a laser shotgun. That's the level of nerdery. I love that.
Hey, Tony, who is this character? Like, who is this guy's name again?
Michael fucking Biehn.
And what kind of gun is he spouting off?
A motherfucking shotgun.
Okay, I totally didn't get any of that in the last 5 minutes. Thank you for clearing it up.
Just want to make it clear. I just love that it's the nerds that have grown up and now have the keys to the kingdom. It's just great that they throw in these little things that if you're the same level of uber nerd, you catch them and it's like, is that crazy coincidence? And then the articles come out later. Oh no, that was very intentional.
Tony, I lost it again. What's his name?
John Rhys Davies. Oh my god, I would have loved to see that version. That would have been great too. Holy shit. And on top of that, I know you'll appreciate this, Todd. The HK-47 assassin droids that they slipped in there.
Well, they're HK-87s now, so they're the 87th version.
Yeah, another piece of lore that they pulled out of the Knights of the Old Republic games.
I wanted to hear meatbag from the droids once, but they didn't speak an audible language or an understandable language.
Yeah, and just the feel, the vibe of the whole episode, I loved, especially that second half. It
was very much another homage. It was a half samurai, half old western film.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
totally.
everything with Ahsoka and the magistrate was all samurai flick, and like the images were lifted almost directly out of Akira Kurosawa's films.
Yeah.
And the old western feel and vibe with that duel with the Mando and the magistrates. What was his name?
I don't even remember. It was Michael fucking Biehn.
Michael fucking Biehn.
I don't remember the character's name, but it was Michael fucking Biehn.
Well, the whole time I was watching that, and I was like, dude, this is like watching Kill Bill right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt very Tarantino for me.
Yeah, that was clearly very deliberate. That I mean, it was a mirror image. On one side of the gate, you had the samurai movie playing out, and on the other side, you had the shootout at high noon, the western playing out between them. It was pretty great. My Slack chat group that I've been a part of for the last 3 years or so with my author buddies, my writing buddies across the country. It's a perpetual group chat, and there's different chat channels that we have. Once The Mandalorian started the first season, we created a new chat channel in Slack called A Fistful of Beskar. And this episode is probably the best display of the spirit of that. Just how the Mandalorian, from the get-go, it started with that. We named it that because it had that old Western vibe, and this is a huge return to that. It hit all the right buttons.
Why did you not create an after show podcast named A Fistful of Beskar? You should have done that immediately and recorded the moment the episode premieres.
I guess so. Oh well. This is our version of it, our half-assed version of it, recording every 2 weeks and doing the recap. But beyond that, we leave Ahsoka there on the planet. They get their new little quest marker and go off to look for the ancient beacon to call, hopefully put the word out to any other surviving Jedi out there, like, hey, this kid needs some help.
That planet also is another callback to the Old Republic. That planet, to the Knights of the Old Republic, that planet is the planet that the Jedi class starts out as in the MMO version of Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were wondering about that, if it was
long since abandoned and destroyed and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's a historical Jedi planet.
Yeah, one of the many relics or temples like lost out there. Yeah, I really enjoyed, and I guess we're jumping into this week's episode now, yesterday's episode. I really enjoyed the vibe of this one. I mean, there's plenty of, there's a whole lot to enjoy in this episode. Plenty of
such a short time too.
Yeah, there was a lot. The episode was directed by Robert Rodriguez. Awesome. And he really, I think, had a nice blend of, half the exciting pew pew bang bang explodey Star Wars that, just gives us a thrill. And then the other half of it, the whole, Grogu communicating with the, I don't know what you call it, the altar or whatever, the ancient Jedi beacon thing, kind of gave the vibe. It reminded me of those episodes in Star Wars Rebels where they really got into back to the mysticism of the Force and the Jedi and everything. I always really enjoyed those where, I mean, even if they don't give you all the answers you want, it's just nice to, I don't know, there's something about it, brings it back to Star Wars being a fantasy story. And, there's this like ancient mystical shit out there that exists and you're never going to get all the answers, but it's there. And it just, I don't know, it's a good vibe. I really enjoy it. As opposed to, the answers just being midichlorians. Even though they've kind of worked that in along with the lore. I do appreciate when they get
count.
The M count. Yeah. It was a good meaning of sci-fi meets fantasy. I liked it. It's a good blend. But yeah, we got finally the full-blown return of Boba Fett demanding his fucking armor. Which, by the way, we love him, but you gotta admit that armor don't fit like it used to.
It's dad bod Boba Fett.
It's dickish to say, but I mean, it was very clearly, it did not fit on him quite like a glove like it did on Tim Oliphant. No, it was cleaners must have shrunk it. I don't know.
Fetch the breastplate stretcher.
But hey, say what you will, Boba Fett came back like he had to prove something, and fuck, did he prove something?
He destroyed Face.
Yeah.
Even before he got his armor back, he was kicking ass with a gaffy stick, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. That was rad. That shot of him just just turning the stormtrooper helmet to just shattered it, essentially. Just like, holy shit. Oh, that was a good time. Alongside with his new best buddy, Agent Melinda May, back from near dead, apparently. which
And
I-
cyborgized.
yeah, I was curious about that. They showed like it's been a while since I watched season 1. I remember she was like gut shot or something, right?
Yeah.
So she definitely had like a very mortal wound. Uh, and it looked like they ripped out like her entire guts. Like it almost looked like Darth Maul, like almost like she was just severed in half. So,
Kind of. It did. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's the Star Wars universe. I mean, as long as you survive, you can get cyborg parts to be put in anywhere.
I
Yeah.
have a nerd question
Mm-hmm.
that I assume the Star Wars nerds can help me answer.
Oh, don't! I got it. It was Michael fucking Bean with a shotgun.
Okay, so the stormtroopers are technically clones of Jango Fett's.
No, not
But-
stormtroopers. Only the old clone troopers during the Clone Wars.
Okay, then my
Stormtroopers are not.
question is now answered. Because I was gonna say, if they were the clones, wouldn't it be weird for Boba Fett to be like killing his clone brothers, basically?
Yeah.
But they're not. They're
But-
clones, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not clones. Well, I mean, some of them may be, and the Empire has used clones at times, but for the most part, most stormtroopers are not clones.
Okay.
Yeah. I always think of it like the original trilogy, especially A New Hope when they're wandering around the Death Star and everything. It's just a bunch of stuffy British guys in there. That's how I always think of the classic stormtroopers. But yeah. So we got Boba Fett kicking ass and taking names. Now I'm just keep calling him Merlinda May because I forget her actual real name.
Fennec Shand.
Yeah, the other assassin who. Yeah, and I saw a post earlier from somebody online who just said, The Mandalorian is really a story about a guy who just can't stop making best friends. Because everywhere he goes, like it doesn't matter, like honor among thieves, whatever. Like he's, people are ready to kill him one minute or sell him out for gold, and next thing you know, some shit goes down. They survive a firefight. 10 minutes later, did we just become best friends? Yes. Wearing allegiance to him and like, okay, we'll find your baby. It's all good. But yeah, it was
The Adventures of a Single Dad.
Space Dad. Space Dad the series. Yeah. But it was pretty rad. We got our answer. Those were indeed Dark Troopers. Now you said the robot or the droid version. So there's different versions of the lore. In some they were like mutants or clones or something, and another one were straight up droids.
Yeah, so there's two different versions of, well, I mean, if you're talking about the droids, there's like 4 different versions of the droid Dark Troopers, but there's also multiple versions of Dark Troopers that are similar in looking, but they're modified. This is definitely like heavy nerd, like expanded universe, like early 90s books and comics.
This is like our version of like talking shop, like the 67 Impala had the rims over here.
Yeah, pretty much. But so yeah, there are droid Dark Troopers, which are just like insane kill machines, like HK-47 to the max. And then there are Dark Troopers, which are modified, genetically modified, and tested on so that they can use force powers. They're not true force adepts. They have certain powers because of the testing and things they've been put through.
Yeah. Okay. So we didn't see much action on them yet, just them doing their Iron Man thing and grabbing the kid and flying back off. Now, so this episode was titled The Tragedy. And as soon as I saw that title, I was like, okay, bad shit is coming. Now, am I the only one, or is it a common feeling that by the end of this episode, I mean, the tragedy is obviously meant to be like, oh no, we got fucked and the kid is kidnapped. But to me, I was more sad about the fucking ship.
The Razor Crest.
The Razor Crest.
Yes.
That is his serenity, man. And that has been ripped apart and rebuilt 1,000 times over. Just barely got rebuilt. Just got a fresh coat of paint. And boom, it's a fucking crater. Nothing left. I mean, except for his shiny spear. But that I mean,
And the stick shift ball. We can't remember this.
yeah, got to have the little emotional connection there. But I
His
mean, okay,
Winnebago got destroyed.
his Winnebago, yeah, the space Winnebago. We know that. I mean, this we watch too much TV. We are familiar with this. Okay, you're gonna have the major conflict and the downfall of the hero before they rise up again and save the day or save the kid. Blah 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 blah. We know, like we're sucked into the drama, but deep down we know little Grogu's gonna be just fine. So it's not really a tragedy to us. The tragedy is the fucking ship. You can't rebuild from there. That thing is gone. I mean, poor Grogu, sure, yeah, but he's gonna be fine in the long run. We know this.
Are you sure about that though?
Yeah, they're gonna spring him out. They're gonna get first. I mean, they're already halfway there. He's halfway to his dirty dozen. He's got Boba Fett. He's got Melinda May, Fennec, whatever. They're gonna spring Bill Burr from Space Boston Jail. They've got Gina Carano, Cara Dune, Marshall Cara Dune for the New Republic. They're gonna call all the guns in and get the kid back. We know that's gonna happen. Everything's gonna be fine.
Will the kid be damaged goods at that point? Like, a lot can happen.
Damaged.
He's already damaged goods.
Well, I mean, they were already running experiments on him like so quickly when they had them the first time.
Yeah,
now they're on like a giant fucking like destroyer, whatever they're called. So much can happen in such a small amount of time.
Yeah, he'll put up enough of a fight. He's like.
But he's got little itty bitty handcuffs now.
Those were the most adorable, the tiniest little handcuffs. Meg get over those tiny little handcuffs. Oh God, you want to put those on the rabbits, don't you?
No.
Little bitty handcuffs. Oh God, but. It's like Leia on the Death Star. Like, she's not going to take that lying down. Like, she's going to put up as much of a fight as possible. No matter what, she's going to be.
She still got tortured.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Like, come on.
Was she damaged goods after that, Meg? Is that what you're saying?
I think I get her point, though. It's already hard enough for him to use his force powers as it is now. Like, every time he uses his force powers, he is so drained that he practically passes out. So
this is going to be his trial by fire. He didn't get the proper training yet, but he's just going to have to wing it to survive. Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, we'll see.
But then, does he really survive? Because we get the entire sequel trilogy, and there's no other Jedis alive at that point that we know of.
Well, I mean, we've already seen that Ahsoka was behind the scenes throughout all of the original trilogy. Ezra Bridger, all these.
It's still out there somewhere.
Fucking chock full of Jedi. They are bad communicators, is what they are. They don't call. They don't write home. They don't. They haven't figured out Twitter. I don't know. Jedi
space Twitter.
Yeah, Jedis need to work on their space Twitter network.
He got an upgrade though. He's flying around in Slave One now with Boba Fett.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I don't know. Is that an upgrade? I mean, that ship's pretty old.
So was the Razor Crest.
Maybe older.
Remember, the Razor Crest was pre-Imperial vintage. Pre-Imperial means like pre-Rebels even.
Everything in Star Wars is like 1,000 years old. I mean, that's that's just all it is.
2 more episodes, though. Only 2 more episodes.
That's upsetting. Only 2.
But makes me wonder if they're just gonna go straight back to Mandalore, because you know that Katie Sackhoff, what's her name? Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan, yeah.
Bo-Katan. You know that she is tracking and trying to get a hold of Moff Gideon.
Mm-hmm.
Now Moff Gideon has a child.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the Darksaber. He's got Mandalorian armor on. At least I think.
Darksaber was pretty rad.
Yeah, Darksaber is amazing. I love the Darksaber. I think his armor is Beskar armor, so I mean they're gonna want to get that back. So I think we're gonna see Mandalore. I think we're gonna see actual Mandalore.
Yeah, maybe. There's no way. I don't know if they can wrap all this up in 2 more episodes. Now they've created too
Way too many
many.
storylines.
Yeah, too many storylines. You got. I mean, unless they just. I don't know. I think it would be sloppy to just rush it and throw everybody in the room together and be like, oh, Mando needs help. Okay, well, Ahsoka comes out of hiding and Bo-Katan comes back with her posse, like, and like
The last the
again.
last
I mean,
episode's just going to be an entire movie.
Infinity War.
there you go, Mando Infinity War. I mean, that would be great. But again, if they only have 2 episodes to go, then I think that would be a bit rushed to just all of a sudden rapidly bring everybody back into one place.
The next episode's going to be them tracking him down, and then the final episode is going to be the big battle where they go to rescue him.
Yeah.
That's maybe Gideon is revealed that he's working for Thrawn or whatever, and then that sets up Thrawn as the big bad. We didn't even mention that, damn it.
I completely forgot about that. That's right. Yeah, see, this is way too many threads. Way too many threads they've laid down that they're not going to tie up in 2 fucking episodes. Thrawn.
Ahsoka at the final bit of the duel with the magistrate, Ahsoka asks her, "Where's your master? Where's Thrawn?"
Where's Thrawn? Exactly. Now, Thrawn, as I explained to Meg, was the big bad. I mean, he's been in the lore in the whatever they call the legacy Star Wars expanded universe forever and ever. In the new canon, which they have slowly been bridging elements of the old lore weaving it into the new stuff, he was the big bad throughout Star Wars Rebels, chasing after the Ghost Crew and Ahsoka.
He's also had 2 series of novels come out for him in the last 5 or 6 years.
That's the only reason why I know the name Thrawn is because I remember you asking me to buy you the Thrawn books at Barnes.
Mm.
Yep.
Now, at the end of Rebels, if I remember right, he was the reason Ezra sacrificed himself, right? He's stuck
Yes.
on the ship with Ezra, and he forces the jump to hyperspace, and it's some unknown region, essentially.
The space whales take them off into the unknown regions.
Yeah. So clearly he survived.
Yeah.
And is going to be the mastermind pulling the strings, might even be the big boss of Moff Gideon, perhaps.
So and it ties into sort of the sequel trilogy's First Order as well, because the First Order when the Empire is defeated and after the end of the Empire, basically after Return of the Jedi, they retreat into the unknown regions where Palpatine has set up fail safes and set up production in the unknown regions where he has sent out orders. Basically, if you've played the video games and read any of the like comic books or anything that happens post Empire, then you know that he sends what's left of the Empire into the unknown regions to regroup and become the First Order.
Okay.
So, right. And Thrawn is from the unknown regions. His race is Chiss, and the Chiss ascendancy is a faction, basically, that's a pretty strong faction in the unknown regions. They have they're a warrior race, so they're strong on their own. So it's the character of Thrawn has always been, am I a loyal Chiss or am I a loyal Empire servant, or am I both? What's the give and take on that? So
yeah, I think he'll be a good villain to play out in live action. He's throughout Rebels, he was very much the genius strategist. Like every time the Rebels thought they had the upper hand or were being sneaky, like he was 12 steps ahead of them. It's like, yeah, I know you're gonna do that, and therefore I'm like always several moves ahead, always thinking the long game, and just merciless in taking every single one of them out. Fan cast.
Oh God.
Who could you see?
Oh. Well, realistically, there's not much. I mean, he's already been in Star Wars, but Mads Mikkelsen would be a great cast.
Yeah, I was going there too. I was like, well, they've already used him, but yeah, he would be great. He's got that
slow and like intentional way of speaking.
Yeah, very Hannibal Lecter-ish villainous persona, the precision in
Yeah.
his manner and speaking and tone and everything. Like he just sucks all the air out of the room. And it's like, you're going to focus on every little thing I'm going to say because maybe I'm about to stab you in the face. You don't know.
Here's a crazy, wacky idea. And again, I don't know anything about Thrawn.
Mhm.
Peter Dinklage.
Eh, eh.
You
No,
think he
wouldn't
fit
work.
that guy?
Wouldn't fit the original look, but if
No.
you wanted to
Cheers.
go that direction, I bet he could play an amazing villain.
You could do, if you did him CGI or somebody in a bodysuit and then him as the voice, yes.
Mm.
But Thrawn the character is a very like tall, slender, sharp-faced look,
Blue
and that
Slender
is the
Man.
exact opposite.
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones. Oh, that'd be
Doug Jones
that
would
would
actually be a good choice.
yeah.
He's
Although-
already playing. He's already playing a character that's sort of like tall in the prosthetics and very enunciated in the way he speaks on Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah. Well,
So,
that's. I mean, if you need that the tall, slender creature effect, you call up Doug Jones. That's what you do.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how he would portray that kind of seriousness that you guys are talking about with the Thrawn character, but like imposing, his, like you
his
said,
character.
air out of the room. But I think he would be up for that kind of. I think he would do a good job if given the opportunity.
Yeah.
His character on Discovery is pretty serious, though he doesn't suck the air out of the room in imposing factor.
It's hard for me. I mean, Doug Jones is an actor. I'm sure he could pull it off, but I don't know
Yeah.
if I've ever seen him play a straight villain that wasn't some sort of creature of some sort or something. Like just playing like just him, just his face, and being like a straight up villain. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Like he usually plays. I mean, if it's some sort of creature, like he's done, like what were they called, the silent dudes on Buffy back in the day? He did that. I mean, he was the
Gentleman.
the gentleman, yeah, in Pan's Labyrinth. I think he was both the fawn and the the hand dude, the dude that ate children and had the hand eye.
I've got it.
Huh.
The doctor that played the villain in Jessica Jones. What's his name?
The doctor played the.
He played Doctor Who.
David Tennant
David Tennant. There we go.
as Thrawn.
His face is too like. I don't see his face being that kind of character.
I don't know if he is.
But he's got the personality.
I have seen him play good villains. Yeah,
I mean, Jessica Jones. That he was perfect as the villain in that.
Well, yeah, but with that, he was like more kind of emotional, like I don't know how to describe it. That character, he was kind of like a snotty villain, like trying to get what he wants and blah 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 blah, and kind of a bit more of a nihilist, whereas Thrawn just seems so like that militant, calculated, like again, the ever-present strategist. I don't know. Oh man, I'm gonna have to chew on that one. I'll have to come back to that next time.
That's our homework is figure out our perfect fan cast.
Perfect Thrawn.
I don't know, Jared Leto, guys.
I'm just gonna end the podcast right now. I'm gonna exit out of this Zoom meeting. I can't believe you said that.
Todd's flipping a table.
I'm done.
Don't want it. Don't need it. Over.
Can't believe you've even put that into the air, into the ether.
Bring it back around, guys.
Okay. So the podcast's getting long in the tooth here, so I can rapid fire a few more bits of news that I had. Speaking of Peter Dinklage, here's something that I can get behind.
Peter Dinklage.
Because the Dinkles is my jam. Legendary is doing a Toxic Avenger reboot.
What?
Starring motherfucking Peter Dinklage.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have to see this.
I actually only saw that for the first time ever in the last few weeks here. It was one of our October watches, or No, November actually. That's one of those. It's kind of, I accomplished a bit of like a childhood task because I vividly remember as a kid, like one of the first video rental stores that me and my mom used to go to when I was a little kid. It was a little mom and pop one, like right around the corner from our house. And they always had like a Sega there with some random game on. I would play that a little bit. And then the box art that I would walk by, they always had a copy of the first Toxic Avenger. And that's just one of those bits of box art, like we were talking with Melly last time. Like I will forever remember, it's just burned into my brain. I always thought I have to see that someday. I'm fascinated by that cover. I want to know what that is. And I finally, just in the last few weeks here, watched the Toxic Avenger. It's a movie.
It's an 80s B C-list horror movie.
Honestly, it's dumb fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't watch it every day, but it's definitely worth a watch.
It's good.
Yeah, and with Legendary behind this, Peter Dinklage behind it, I am so on board.
Mm-hmm.
In our TV world, holy shit, we don't have to worry about missing Mando so much. I mean, we'll miss it anyway, but there is still a plethora of TV to watch. If you're a fan of Big Mouth on Netflix, season 4 just came back on yesterday, actually. I think premiered on
Yeah,
Netflix.
we're already like halfway through it.
Yeah, we're already halfway through. We watched like half the season last night.
I haven't started it. How is it?
It's good. It's great. They're back and the magic is still there.
It's
and
almost
just
even
getting better.
raunchier.
Yeah.
Like,
How is that possible?
Oh, just wait. But it's just crazy how they've just completely just gone balls to the wall with this show. Like they give zero fucks about what they're actually doing and showing you.
Yeah.
It's great.
Just every dirty thing you can imagine, and it plays out so great. I love the voice cast that continues to be added onto this series. Maria Bamford is now, they have the different, they got the hormone monster and monstress. He had the previous season, what was it, the shame demon, yeah, and I don't remember the
Shame Wizard, I think it was. Wasn't that the guy that played Lupin?
Yeah,
Professor Lupin.
Yeah,
Lewis Thels or something like that.
Yeah, awesome guy.
And like the depression cat.
Yeah, the depression cat, and now we have an anxiety mosquito played by Maria Bamford, and she's fucking fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll probably finish that up. Hell, we might finish it up tonight for all we know. We got that. I finally went back and finished the last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Nice.
Which was wonderful.
That's why Melinda May keeps popping into your head.
Yeah, that's why it is. Yeah. I loved it. It's fantastic. Binged that this past week. Caught up with all of the Walking Dead World Beyond. Had their first little season finale. They've only done like a little half first season. It's fine.
Like the last thing I heard about it was it premiering, and now it's already got a season finale.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a winter break. I thought they said it was a straight up season finale. So
was that just like 6 episodes or something like that?
I think so. Which, I mean, The Walking Dead, the main show, had a half season like that from the start. Season 1 was like 6 episodes.
Okay.
But it's fine. I'm only gonna really continue watching it because I'm invested in that whole universe, and I know they're going to tie things together eventually. So I know that
eventually it'll become good.
Well, I know it leads into the Rick Grimes series that'll be coming up, the continued adventures of Rick Grimes. Fear the Walking Dead got a season 7 order, so they're still going full steam ahead with that. Yeah, I can't believe even that's been 7 seasons already.
And a lot of shows are going back into production too. Orville is confirmed back in production.
Orville's back in production. Oh, that's what I was going to mention. The Flash is back in production for season 7, and then had to pause again after they got positive COVID tests.
Jesus.
But in the meantime, they actually announced apparently David Ramsey, Diggle, is going to return on Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, we kind of expected that.
Yeah. Well, the finale left him basically alluding to him becoming a Lantern. So we could see him all powered up in the Legends of Tomorrow verse. So that'd be cool. And everybody keeps clamoring for Daredevil, to save Daredevil.
Yeah, that was a the news of last week is like everybody and their mom retweeting Save Daredevil.
Yeah.
Like you had all of the entire cast retweeting it. You had Rosario Dawson retweeting it and championing it. Kevin Smith, a bunch of other people were retweeting and doing that kind of stuff. So I hope they do.
It's got to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right, man. That's all I got for now.
that's all I got.
Thank you for joining, guys, for another Getting Off Topic. Go to a Triple X drive-in.
take take that nice drive out to Texas and get to that drive-in.
Hey Tony, I lost the name again. What's the guy from the Star Wars episode? The Mandalorian?
Mark Paul Gosselaar. with a
Diamond Phillips.
with a laser brick cell phone.
What would I do without you?
I don't know. Stay frosty, guys.